questions about the state health department after a lawsuit against Golden Living nursing homes. 14 locations are named in the suit, including ones in Harrisburg, Camp Hill, and Gettysburg. The state claims residents were dirty, thirsty, and hungry, and the homes were understaffed. With so many violations, why were the nursing homes allowed to take in new residents? Amanda St. Hilaire is live in Dauphin County, going in depth. Amanda.
Val, I'm live in front of the Department of Health because this is the agency responsible for the nursing home inspections. Now, no one from the department would do an on-camera interview today, but just about 10 minutes ago, I got a response to some questions I had emailed the department this morning, and the people there say they're ready for some big changes.
Clearly, there's a problem that the department has, and we're going to try to fix it statewide.
Auditor General Eugene DePasquale says the Department of Health asked him to take a closer look at how it's handling nursing home complaints.
Our audit is going to be a completely independent function, so they had to be willing to live with the results, whatever they would be.
This effort comes on the heels of a lawsuit against Golden Living nursing homes, accused of denying residents promised quality care and forcing them to live in filth. All this despite several complaints to the Department of Health.
Something potentially has gone wrong in that facility to a loved one, and people took the time to go to this website because that's what the state government has told them to do, so they know what the problem. And so if there's no follow-up on that, it's a significant problem.
The Department of Health says it's putting together a task force to improve care, but we still had a lot of questions. These are the Department of Health inspection reports from Golden Living facilities. We pulled just the ones from the 5 centers in the mid-state and just over the last year. So with all these problems, we wanted to know why they were still allowed to accept new patients. But the Department of Health still hasn't answered that. And this isn't just about Golden Living nursing homes.
Time will tell as to how many, but there's no question it is a major issue.
We filed a right-to-know request and found out that last year, 58 people in Pennsylvania nursing homes died from injury, suicide, or other unusual circumstances. 29 people died from malnutrition, dehydration, or sepsis. 4 people died from medication errors or bad reactions to medications, with 9,822 transfers or admissions to hospitals because of injuries and accidents. The Auditor General is hoping to help bring those numbers down.
And the goal is to have a system in place that all Pennsylvanians can be comfortable as doing the best job they can to make sure our seniors are getting the type of care they deserve.
So in the email I received a few minutes ago, a spokesperson for the Department of Health says she can't specifically discuss the Golden Living centers because it's now a legal issue. She did tell me that closing down a nursing home is something that can be disruptive for the patients and the families. So it usually only happens when there's a repeated pattern of non-compliance. At this point, it's not clear why the Golden Living centers didn't fall into that category. Working for you live in Dauphin County, Amanda St. Hilaire, ABC 27 News.
Not getting cleaned up, missing meals, being thirsty. The state attorney general's office says residents at some nursing homes in the mid-state are being neglected, and now the AG is suing. Amanda St. Hilaire joins us live now. Amanda.
Alicia, I have the lawsuit paperwork right here, and there are a lot of details about Golden Living centers. They're nursing homes all over the United States. Well, tonight we talked to people who say they were treated well at the local facilities, but we also talked to some who say their experiences were nightmares.
My brother played the saxophone, the guitar, and the piano before his injury.
Carrie Feldman says several strokes made her brother Brandon unable to move on his own. That's why she moved him to a Golden Living facility in the mid-state to be closer to her family.
By the end of the first year, he had medical conditions from neglect. He had really poor oral care where his mouth would bleed from being dehydrated. His lips were severely cracked. They rarely shaved him, rarely showered him.
A report from the Attorney General's office shows similar complaints at several Golden Living locations in PA, including Harrisburg, Gettysburg, and where Carrie's brother was staying in Camp Hill.
He would use a little piece of paper that I had that had the alphabet on it, and he would say that he wanted to die on it. And you know, I can't imagine living in his condition is a happy place to be, but, you know, I just wanted to make his life better by moving him here, and I felt like I had made it worse for him.
The AG's office says it wasn't Carrie's fault. The lawsuit says Golden Living centers engaged in unfair and deceptive acts toward Pennsylvania consumers.
It's really hard because he can't care for himself, you know, and he's kind of had a rough life. And he just deserves to be treated better than that.
But some former patients say they were treated well.
I felt there needed to be another voice.
Richard Zerby says he stayed at the Harrisburg facility.
Golden Living was top drawer. Patient care couldn't have been better. The food couldn't have been better. The attention to people was marvelous.
Richard says he's not sure why other people had different experiences.
You're caring for very sick people or moderately sick people, and it's hard to satisfy everybody in that state.
As for Carrie's brother Brandon, a social worker helped get him into a different company's nursing home.
Skin is clear and he's shaved and his fingernails are cut and his lips are smooth, but he likes it there. Like, he smiles when we go to see him. You can just tell that he's a lot happier where he's at right now.
So we've been getting, in the meantime, dozens of Facebook messages, of emails from people saying they've had similar experiences as Brandon and Carrie did with that nursing home center. So we've made some calls, haven't heard back from Golden Living Centers yet, but of course we'll let you know as soon as we do. And in the meantime, the Attorney General's office says consumers might be able to get some of their money back depending on how the court proceedings go.
Gotcha. Hard to hear Brandon's story, isn't it?
So hard to hear, and especially knowing it's so widespread.
No doubt. Thanks, Amanda.
Well, the operators of Golden Living Centers in PA respond to a lawsuit.
Nursing homes in Harrisburg, Camp Hill, and Gettysburg are named in the suit. The state claims residents were neglected homes, understaffed.
Golden Living says this is retaliation over an ongoing dispute with the AG's office. Amanda St. Hilaire is in Dauphin County, staying on the story.
Instances where people, were being left in soiled diapers, couldn't get water, couldn't get range of motion exercises.
The Attorney General's office says it's gotten more than 200 calls from people describing those kinds of experiences at Golden Living Centers.
That kind of speaks for itself to just how serious an issue this is.
But in a statement, the company says, quote, claims made by the Attorney General's office are baseless and wholly without merit. Golden Living also believes that this complaint is in retaliation for our challenging the Attorney General's authority in a pending lawsuit, end quote. So we went through the paperwork from that lawsuit, filed 3 months ago. The petition from Golden Living challenges subpoenas from the Attorney General about staffing levels, saying the AG, quote, improperly invades the Department of Health's exclusive regulatory jurisdiction.
The Attorney General's office has jurisdiction in this case because we're tasked with watching over consumers' interests.
The AG's office says this wasn't retaliation. It was looking at staffing to investigate claims that the nursing homes were misleading consumers about quality of care. State law requires 2.7 nursing hours per patient per day. Although inspections from the Department of Health show Golden Living Centers were meeting those requirements, federal inspections put several of the mid-state facilities at below and much below average rankings for staffing.
Some of whom are at their most vulnerable state, going into these facilities with the expectation that they were going to be receiving a certain level of care, and what we're hearing is, in many cases that just was not the case.
And that was Amanda St. Hilaire reporting. Now, the state health department says it's working with lawmakers to update the state's staffing requirements to make them more strict.
How confident are you that your loved ones are safe in nursing homes? A recent state lawsuit against Golden Living Centers is raising questions about patient care in Pennsylvania.
Our Amanda St. Hilaire began investigating the issue and found a lot of other nursing homes in our area with violations. Amanda joins us live. Amanda, what are you uncovering tonight?
Well, James, Val, the details you're about to hear are disturbing, to say the least. Every nursing home that we looked at had violations, and the people we talked to today say this is an issue that affects everyone in the mid-state.
My mother became ill in the hospital after a fall.
Tamara says she wasn't impressed with local options for nursing homes. She settled on Golden Living, but later felt that was a mistake.
They'd sit all day in their urine, in their waste, because nobody checked with them.
We've told you how the Attorney General's filed charges against Golden Living nursing homes in Pennsylvania, but we wanted to look at other facilities too. So we went through all the Department of Health inspections for Dauphin and York County nursing homes. The results weren't pretty. For example, inspections for Spring Creek Rehab and Healthcare Center in the Harrisburg area say the facility gave patients unnecessary medications and had bedsides covered with dried debris and feces. Some of the other violations were flagged as serious harm situations. At Pleasant Acres Nursing and Rehabilitation Center in York, an inspection from May 2014 shows the nursing home did not have a CPR policy or staffing with CPR certification. The facility also posted a notice saying its staff would not do CPR even if the patient had requested it. We asked the Department of Health if patients and their families are notified about these kinds of violations. The department says no. Inspection reports are posted to its website, but you can't see those until more than 1 month after the actual inspection. In the meantime, people like Tamara are hoping for change. Her mother died in January, and now Tamara says she's worried about what will happen one day to her and her other loved ones.
We'll be sitting in our own feces, and we will be treated as non-humans. We've worked too hard to have a good life to end with such disrespect and to lose our dignity through the treatment and care that is provided in the nursing homes.
Pleasant Acres sent us this statement about its violations, saying, quote, "The nursing home inspection of May 2014 caught us in the final stages of implementing our CPR policy facility-wide." The administrator went on to say the process was so advanced that it only took a few hours to fix the violations. We also reached out to Spring Creek, but haven't heard back yet. And all the inspections we just told you about say the violations have since been corrected. But if you'd like to look up a nursing home in your area, we have details about how you can do that at 6. Working for you, Amanda St. Hilaire, ABC 27 News.
More local nursing homes now being sued by the state. Tonight, hear from a woman whose father was affected. Earlier this year, the Attorney General's office announced a lawsuit against Golden Living Centers, accusing the chain of leaving its residents thirsty, hungry, and living in filth. Since our first report, there have been hundreds of new complaints. So today, the AG's office says it's suing 11 more facilities, including some right here in the mid-state. Amanda St. Hilaire has our top story.
The Attorney General's office says it just goes to show sometimes speaking up can pay off. This West Shore location for Golden Living Center in Camp Hill was not on the original list when the Attorney General's office took legal action back in July. But after getting flooded with phone calls following our story about the situation, now the public is more aware.
I was there every night because I did not trust the care that he got.
Jacqueline Fisher says she eventually pulled her father out of the West Shore Golden Living Center.
They're shorthanded. They don't respond to alarms when the patients pull the alarms. It's run down.
That West Shore location is one of 11 additional facilities named in a lawsuit filed by the Attorney General, including another center in Lancaster. That means legal action against 25 out of Golden Living's 36 centers in Pennsylvania.
More families are in a position of needing to put their loved ones in nursing homes. And those families have to be able to depend on the information that they are given, that the information is true and accurate.
Reports from the AG's office detail patients left in their own waste, staffers allegedly falsifying medical information, and employees not responding to emergency calls. Golden Living gave us a statement saying, quote, "Golden Living remains confident that the claims made by the Attorney General are baseless and wholly without merit. All of our living centers are in compliance with legal requirements as determined by the two agencies that have oversight of our industry." But the AG's office says that's not the point.
We are not charging that they are somehow not in compliance with minimum requirements. What we are saying is that they are not delivering the level of service that they are advertising.
And for people like Jacqueline, that's a big deal.
They definitely need to crack down. They need to crack down facilities. It's ridiculous. We were supposed to take care of our elderly, and these facilities do not take care of their elderly.
If the AG's office wins, there could be hefty fines for Golden Living. But families say you can't put a price tag on the well-being of their loved ones. Working for you, Amanda St. Hilaire, ABC 27 News.